guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Racing Show here at RacePlazaMedia. Today I decided I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit more about Doraine Pin. She's been in the news quite a lot this week. In case you've missed it, there was some excitement with her competing this past weekend with the F1 Academy. Specifically, her second race got a lot of attention, but we'll get into that a little bit later on in the video. For now, I wanted to find out a little bit more about her, where she comes from, what experience she has, because I have a feeling she is definitely one to watch in the coming years. But let's just get right into it. Doriane, aka the little pocket rocket, as people love to call her. She was born in 2004, so currently she's 20 years old. And as many other drivers, if not most drivers, she also started her career in karting. She started at the age of 9, and then only 3 years later, at the age of 12, she started competing on a national level. Then in 2019, she actually won the French championship in the women's category before previously placing 5th and 10th in the junior category, mixed gender categories. After being crowned French champion in karting in 2019, she made her big racing debut, car racing debut, as part of the Renault Clio Cup in France. She participated in the first 3 races of that category or that championship and ended up placing 2nd in the overall junior category. Now, as you probably know, racing is incredibly expensive, so also Doraine was struggling to find the budget to continue her passion and her career as a race car driver. Luckily, the Iron Dames offered her a one-day Ferrari GT test day to see what she can do to potentially support her in the future. And guess what? She proved herself and has become part of the Iron Dames / Iron Lynx racing team. In case you don't know, the Iron Dames is a special project of Iron Lynx, which is an Italian racing team made by and from women, with an all-female racing team. Typically, from all the races that I've seen so far with the Iron Dames, their cars are very pink, so you can easily spot them. So now in 2021, we're officially in Doraine's GT era of her career, as I would call it. She competed in the 2021 Ferrari Challenge Europe in the pro category. However, in 2022 is when she actually dominated the Ferrari Challenge Europe in the pro category. So listen to this. They have a total of 14 races in the Ferrari Challenge. She won 9 of them in 2022. She had 10 pole positions and she had 11 fastest laps in that one competition. So due to that, she of course stood out very much, and she got a lot of eyes on her, offering, of course, more opportunities, deservedly so. And I also want to point out one race in particular. I watched a couple of the races online, or a couple of the clips online. All of the races are on YouTube for you to watch, so I highly recommend checking them out. So in the second race of that year, she started, I believe, as 4th on the grid. There were some issues early on in the race, so that she ended up a little bit further down the pack. However, she ended up in a roughly 1 hour race. She overtook 12 people. So she did end up still on the podium as 3rd in the race. How incredible is that? In 2021, she also competed full-time in the Le Mans Cup in the GT3 category with Iron Lynx, and she ended up on 5 podiums and also became 5th in the overall driver standings. Then also in 2022, she replaced Rahel Frey in the GTE category after the 3rd race and competed with them for the European Le Mans Series. On top of several podiums, ended up even winning the final race in Portugal. They started in pole and they were able to bring it home for the very first time for the Iron Lynx in their history. So now not only do we have her, of course, karting, she had regular car races, she did the Ferrari Challenge, she did World Endurance Championship as part of the Iron Lynx team and the GT3 and the GTE. So now, Of course, the next logical step would be for her to move up to the next vehicle category, which of course is the LMP2 and the LMP3 vehicles. So in 2022, right after her big success with the Iron Lynx, she was invited to test drive a LMP2 vehicle, but not any LMP2 vehicle. The winning LMP2 of the 2022 season, she was able to test drive right after the season finale in Bahrain. And then she did make her prototype debut in 2023 as the silver ranking driver in the Prima Racing team with Mirko Bortolotti and Daniel Kvyat, who might be familiar to many as a previous F1 driver. During her tenure at the World Endurance Challenge with the Prima Racing team, she had many podiums, many poles, and fastest lap. She competed at quite a high level, being a brand new rookie in the league. However, on top of that, she also competed in 3 out of the 4 Endurance Cup races of the IMSA Sport Car Championship, or IMSA, as we like to say here on this channel. At the IMSA Sports Car Championship, she competed with the Iron Dames again. And of course, yet again, she stood out because in the season final race, she averaged the best lap times in the entire GTD category. How impressive is that? So after her successes in the LMP2 vehicle, unfortunately the LMP2 category has been removed from the World Endurance Championship. So she has now moved up to the LMGT3 category. She's competing this year with the Iron Dames in the World Endurance Championship. And I'm sure we will see many successes from her and the Iron Dames this season as well. Now, moving on to the single-seaters. So this is actually how I was introduced to Doraine earlier this season. If you've been watching our channel, we've tried to watch many different types of races. So for the first time this year, we watched a Formula 4 race, a Formula 4 UAE to be exact, and she was actually participating in it. And she actually competed quite successfully. I'm not surprised. So for F4 UAE, she competed only in 4 of the 5 rounds. However, she did secure 1 pole and 1 victory of one of the races. So in the end, she came in 10th in the driver championship. However, she did make her debut in the F4 single-seater competition in the Southeast Asian Championship. She competed there for the first time in 2023. She ended up taking 3 podiums during that season, 1 victory at the Sepang race, and she ended up 2nd in the overall driver championship. However, her very first experience in a single-seater vehicle, at least as far as my research is concerned, was in 2021, where she was invited to test drive an F3 vehicle nonetheless, alongside fellow Iron Dames driver Maya Voig and also W Series drivers Nerea Marti and Irina Sidorkova. But probably many of you know her from her F1 Academy debut. She's part of the Prima Racing team, but is in the Mercedes Junior Academy. So F1 Academy was launched last year, so this is only the 2nd season of all women drivers. It's a grid of 15 women. 10 of them are supported by F1 teams, and their calendar runs along the F1 main calendar. So this past weekend in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, they had their first 2 races, and Doraine won technically both of them. Now, this is where you probably heard the news. The 2nd race win, unfortunately, was taken from her. So basically what happened, if you don't already know, she did win the 2nd race, and what a race it was. I don't know if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend watching it. You can watch it on F1 TV as well as on YouTube, and I will post additional links for you guys below so you can definitely watch it because it is an intense race. F1 Academy is not to be missed. Things happen constantly, much more than F1 currently. So she won the first race, as mentioned. She did lead the 2nd race from the beginning. She started in pole. There were 3 safety car restarts that she led successfully, and she did pass the finish line with about 2 seconds of a lead. However, so here comes it. She didn't see the checkered flag. She kept racing at full speed 2 more laps because neither she did see it nor she tried to talk to her team over the radio, but they didn't hear her because they had already taken off their headphones and started celebrating instead of communicating with her that the race was over. So there's a lot of, is it the driver's fault? Is it the team's fault? Now I hear also some rumors that apparently the checkered flag, which I thought I'd noticed during the race as well, wasn't waved appropriately. So she couldn't see it from the actual, as she was passing the finish line, because of course she's driving at 250 kilometers per hour, more or less. She's focused on the race. There's no time for her to look up or whatnot. So she definitely missed it. I guess the team didn't warn her either about, oh, this is the last lap or 2 more laps, because the last safety car did happen just a couple laps before the ending. So I'm sure she knew it was close, but she didn't know exactly. But yeah, so she took the checkered flag twice, which gave her a 20-second penalty. So she ended up in 9th instead of 1st. She also lost her lead in the overall championship. Abby Pulling is now leading the championship, which I do have to say, I'm very excited to see Doraine and Abby competing this entire season. Yes, we've only had one race. Yes, Doraine was leading and winning technically both races, also by a little bit of a margin. It wasn't like super, super close, but there was definitely, I mean, she's not a Max Verstappen, at least not yet. But I mean, all I want to say is she is truly an amazing race car driver. If you have not heard of her yet, I hope this video gave you a little bit of information. However, if this is not enough, so she had success in karting, GT, LMP2, in endurance races, in shorter challenges or shorter races, and she also has won 2 big awards, may I say. So in 2022, she won what is translated to the Golden Steering Wheel. It is an award by the French Federation of Automobile Sports. So it's basically a newcomer award, and she's the very first woman to receive that award. One of the other famous people who had won that award previously is, for example, F1 driver Pierre Gasly. Not only did she win that award, but the following year she won the FIA World Endurance Championships award called the Revelation of the Year, which is also a big newcomer award. I mean, it's completely understandable based on her success in the World Endurance Championship, as mentioned previously, not only in the GT category, but also in the prototype categories. And there's actually a really funny picture of her holding up the award. The award looks huge when she carries it. So there's this debate going on whether the award is huge or if just Doraine is tiny, because her nickname is the Pocket Rocket. So now, as you can see, Doraine has done a lot already. Of course, I mean, she has to if she wants to be the professional driver that she is. She needs a lot of experience, but she proves herself time and time again in new type of cars. She immediately succeeds, or she learns very, very fast. So she's moving up different categories very rapidly. And of course, when you ask her, she's been interviewed, of course, many, many times about it. But what is the thing that she wants to do next? On her to-do list, or on her bucket list for this year, of course, is the F1 Academy Championship. She would like to win that. And of course, that will lead to her eventually becoming an official F1 driver. I mean, the F1 Academy has been created to give women more opportunities to be ready to get into the next level junior categories. Of course, as we now know, she already has experience in F4, so the next step would be F3. She only has up to 2 seasons in the F1 Academy, so I'll be very curious to see after this season if she will continue or if she would immediately move on to the next level. Of course, depends on opportunities given, so we'll see how her season goes this year. I'm personally very excited to follow her career. I definitely think she's one to watch. The question is, of course, do we think she'll be able to be an F1 driver? I was thinking about this a lot as I was preparing the video. One thing that comes to mind is, of course, Susie Wolf, who is one of the creators of the F1 Academy. She says it probably won't be for several years until a woman will be an F1 driver. In her calculations, it will be approximately like 8 or so years, unfortunately. So Doraine is 20 years old already. And typically nowadays, F1 rookies are in their early 20s, if not younger. I mean, this past weekend, we had Ollie Behrman step in for Carlos Sainz. He was 18 years old, of course, one of the younger ones. And he's not an official F1 rookie yet, but I'm sure he will be sooner than later. So I don't know. I mean, I truly hope that she will become an F1 driver. It's about time for a woman to drive an F1 car again, especially during actual Grand Prix and not just a practice session. So let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Do you think she has the potential to do it? That I think definitely. Do you think she will get the opportunity to do it? That only time will tell, right? But I will leave you with this question. Let me know in the comments below what you think. For now, I want to say thank you again for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe. And as per usual, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.